Susan, I'm gay.
I'm gay.
I am gay.
I'm gay.
I am gay.
I'm gay.
I am gay AF.
On April 30th, 1997, ABC aired the puppy episode of their sitcom Ellen. It was the 22nd episode of the 4th season where Ellen Degeneres' character came out as gay. The episode was met with backlash, controversy, and threats, along with a spike in viewership. Although it received mixed reactions at the time, Ellen's The Puppy episode proved to be effective in helping advance acceptance of the LGBTQ+ community by providing a likable and relatable gay character while opening the door for more members of the gay community to be represented in the media.
I think it really opened up people's eyes to say that, you know, the person next door could be lesbian and that's okay. And it was just another person at a bookstore, just another person that was talking with other people and having coffee and, you know, around. So I've got this tangible, positive, I don't want to say icon, but at least image of a lesbian. And that, I think that really impacted America, whether they wanted to be impacted that way or not. It wasn't just the stereotypical Rosie the Riveter kind of, you know, mechanic as a woman. It's now anybody. Anybody, yeah, because what you're doing with your girlfriend behind the scenes has none of their business. They're not picturing that. They should picture a person. And I think that helped change that. And everybody else benefited from that. So I do think that affected America.
So we met at Ellen's house. We got together a big writing staff, including Ellen's brother Vance for the show. And we met at her home, had lunch and stuff like that. She welcomed all the writers. And she said, I kind of have, you know, an announcement to make, you know, and we're like, uh-oh, what could this be? And she says, I want to come out of the closet this year. And we all kind of like looked at each other and went, and I remember thinking, that's either going to be the death of this show, or it's going to be like amazing. But I knew we were in for like a seriously wild ride.
The episode was groundbreaking in having a major character come out as gay. Previously, LGBTQ+ representation in popular culture had been limited at best. A year before, the sitcom Friends had been the first TV show to depict a lesbian wedding, which was not legal anywhere in the world at that time. A few notable earlier examples include an episode of the sitcom Cheers in 1984, in which an old friend of one of the main characters who runs a bar comes out as gay, and his colleagues support him while criticizing the homophobic patrons of the bar, and a 1974 episode of the war satire MASH, where the main characters protect a gay soldier from being put on trial for homosexuality and being dishonorably discharged. After the episode, however, many series began to deal more expressly with LGBTQ+ issues. The best examples of these include Will and Grace, a 1998 sitcom about a gay lawyer and straight interior designers who are roommates, and Modern Family, which deals with themes of prejudice and homophobia as experienced by a gay couple who are part of the extended family that makes up the characters of the sitcom. Shortly after her character came out as gay, Ellen herself came out when she appeared on Oprah with her then-girlfriend Anne H., who talked about their relationship.
How did you meet Ellen?
Oh, I saw Ellen across a crowded room. Not knowing anything at all except how I just was drawn to her.
Having an actress talk openly about being in a lesbian relationship in conjunction with Ellen's character coming out helped to amplify the effect of the Puppy episode in opening the door for increased media visibility for gay issues. In an interview with Time magazine that was released near the date of the episode's premiere, Ellen was quoted as saying, "When I decided to have my character on the show come out, I knew I was going to have to come out too, but I didn't want to talk about it until the show was done. I never wanted to be the lesbian actress, ever. I did it for my own truth." Ellen's statement that she didn't want to be labeled as the lesbian actress reflects the underlying theme of the Puppy episode, which is that being gay shouldn't be a label that changes how a person is perceived.
We would take these long walks from our offices to the main headquarters of Disney, and it was like, you know, it was like a death march. Because you never knew what they were going to say. And, you know, this was her life that was on the line. This was, her career was on the line, and it was so personal to her. And so the day that we got the okay, I remember her just breaking down crying in the room, and just so grateful that they were understanding.
A New York Times article released at the same time as the puppy episode praised the show's handling of the storyline, saying, "With the help of 4 savvy writers and Gil Junger's smooth direction, Ellen makes the giant leap with the endearing blend of shrewdness and daffiness that has become the hallmark of Mrs. Degeneres' comedy routines. Just about every possible homophobic objection is present and accounted for, and then smartly finessed." The episode was seen by a huge number of people, which rapidly raised the show's ratings. A 1997 LA Times article entitled "A Closet Door Opens and 36 Million Watched" states that viewing better than doubled the average Ellen audience this season, delivering the show's highest rating ever and the biggest for any ABC entertainment program in more than 3 years. These two sources show how the episode was generally viewed in a positive light in popular culture. However, the show also received a large amount of backlash, especially from extreme right-wing religious groups.
I was 24 when I came out, and that was 1989, and that was right during the AIDS crisis. So that's a little bit about 10 years ahead of the Ellen the Puppy episode, but at that point, AIDS was a disease going around. It started off with hemophiliacs, very quickly went to gay men, and so gay men were considered the reason that there was AIDS and all of that. So I came out right in the middle of that, and that did impact, I think, a lot of what happened.
You know, she was starting to get press, and we started to get massive amounts of publicity and hate mail. And Disney didn't even, they had told Vic Kaplan, who was also one of the executives, he was our line producer, and he said, they're not even going to, you don't want to see what's coming in. And there's just mounds and mounds of people who want to kill us, who hate us, who threatened us. When we eventually shot the show, I mean, we had, you know, bomb-sniffing dogs coming in to sniff the entire studio, the sound stage, all the chairs. I mean, it was nuts.
I got a number of phone calls. I don't know how people got my number. Even before the show came out, telling me I was going to hell, and telling me that I'm a sick, perverted individual, and that there's no saving me from hell. And I would say to these people, and they were like yelling at me for peddling smut, is what it was called. You haven't even seen the show. It hasn't even aired yet. Why would you be assuming I'm such a horrible person? Because what the show's about is sick and perverted, and you're going to hell. I mean, it was like, wow. It was, but that's nothing compared to the stuff that Ellen got.
The fact that the network agreed to broadcast the episode did not mean that they were willing to abandon all censorship. Beginning with the puppy episode, they displayed a viewer discretion card at the beginning of each episode, warning that the show might be inappropriate for children under 14. Ellen threatened to leave the show when she learned about the card. In a 1997 New York Times interview, she said, "How can I go forward? This is blatant discrimination. This advisory is telling kids there's something wrong with being gay." The article went on to state that before the season started, ABC executives openly talked about taking baby steps with regard to gay themes. The fact that ABC felt the need to warn viewers about adult content after but not before the show's main character came out shows how there was still a major prejudice in the media against gay characters at that time. Ellen stayed with the show despite ABC's continuing use of the card. However, there were more difficulties ahead.
Ellen wanted to go in a different direction with the show afterwards. After we winning the Emmy, she let us all go, including her brother. And ABC was pretty flustered. They were like, "Where are you going?" I'm like, "I was just fired." And it was interesting that she wanted a whole new group of people who kind of they didn't know her as the Ellen who was in the closet. They only knew her as this empowered person. And after that first season, ABC canceled the show. It became a different show, and it became a platform show where it was about lesbian rights, gay rights, and that's not what ABC was in business for. They wanted to have a funny, quirky friends kind of show, and they didn't want to deal with. They just thought the lesbian bit was just going to be a part of her life, but she made it the show.
Despite its cancellation, the puppy episode had a lasting positive effect on public perception of the LGBTQ+ community in the 90s that continues today. In a Los Angeles Times article published on April 24, 1998, Joan Gary, the executive director of the Gay and Lesbian Alliance Against Defamation, stated that she felt Ellen would ease the way for future depictions of gay and lesbian characters on television.
And then, of course, as I said, the negative press, and then the negative press went to television, and we were watching, the Christian coalition groups, our names were splattered everywhere. So, because our names were splattered, we started getting personal things, letters, people who just wanted to kill us, but also personal letters of thanking us over and over, all these young gay men and women thanking us that we're doing the greatest thing in the world.
I was in a meeting, on a feature film, this is maybe 3 months ago, and I'm meeting with this executive woman. She was maybe 35, 38, something like that. And we were just talking about past experiences and everything. And I said to her, she said, "Did you work on the Ellen Show?" And I said, "I did." And she said, "You didn't by chance direct the Coming Out episode?" And I said, "I did." And the woman in the meeting, this is a couple months ago, started sobbing because that episode was the episode that saved her sister's life. Because her sister was gay and so filled with shame that she wanted to kill herself and told her older sister that she was going to, and then the episode came out and it turned her around.
Despite facing hatred and prejudice, Ellen's The Puppy episode helped to remove the stigma that surrounded the LGBTQ+ community in the 90s and led the way for more positive changes in the media.
Don't wait. Don't you wait, no. Don't wait. Don't